Hello legends and super legends, welcome to Veloharmony. Today I'm going to be unboxing the dura-ace PDR9100 pedals. Hope I got the name right. Yeah. Why did I get one of these? Well, I've been riding the 9000 for a while, and on one of my bikes, the blue one, the pedal that I had on there broke. It's the oldest set that I had because I had an issue with one of their pedals on a warranty. They replaced it. So what I had done, while I was waiting for it to come, I took the pedals off the Colnago, put it on the blue bike, and I had been using that. So it was the oldest pair that I had. And what ended up happening was the pedal had an issue that those of you who watched the ride that we rode to New Waverly, my foot kept on clipping and I thought it was my shoe cover, my oversocks, and it wasn't. It ended up, let me show you the pedal real close. At some point in the life of this pedal, something got in there. Hope the camera does it justice. You see that dark mark in there? That's the material of the pedal that has been worn away. Bring it this way so you can see. So that's all gone. There's no material there. So there's nothing to keep the retention. And what was happening is, as I would pull up and kick forward, my foot would just come out from time to time. You couldn't tell exactly when. It happened during the ride, and when I came home and I looked at it, that's when I noticed that that chunk of plastic, it's a plastic ceramic kind of material that they use. It's not metal. It's painted silver, but it's not metal. So it just got worn away. I believe some kind of mud or something got in there because the right pedal from the same bike is perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right pedal in my toolkit, in my toolbox as a shop supply. It'll stay there. Just in case if I ever break a right pedal, I'll have a right pedal because it's in perfect condition. And this is after almost 4 years of use. So I couldn't, with a straight face, contact Shimano and act like it was their fault. Something ground that away. And that's what I mentioned in some of the other videos where I said, be careful where you walk. When you go to Grand Fondos, you step in mud. If the mud sticks on your cleat and they get in there, they can grind the material of your pedal away. So I'm real particular about that for that reason. So that's just something that over the last 3 or 4 years, at one point, I remember that on some of our rides, Paul and I had ventured in a construction area that had a lot of mud in Tomball. And I believe that's possibly when it happened, but I wasn't aware of it. I just missed that. Because I clean my pedals and so forth, so just missed that one. So I'll keep that. So I went ahead and ordered the one that they currently have on the market, the 9100. They call it PDR 9100, and haven't even opened the box. So let's see, put that over there. Let's get this thing open. Nice packaging. And there they are. Beautiful pedals. They've made some subtle changes. Before I go into the changes of the pedal, what I want to look at is I had done the road bike pedals video, and I left out the fact that Shimano is shipping their pedals with blue cleats. They happen to be what I prefer, but they're shipping them with blue. Some people prefer the yellow. I did not get an option or a choice during the ordering process to actually change the cleat that comes with it. It comes with cleats and hardware. So if you have that issue, you probably will have to order like yellow cleats if that's what you prefer, or the fixed cleats that they have. So I'm gonna put those over there. So I don't need any cleats right now, so that will go in my backup spare parts. I'm trying to see what's different about the 9100 versus the 9000 in this review. The shape of the body has been slightly enlarged. I'm going to bring it close to you. These are both the right pedals. Okay, I don't know if you can tell. What they did is this has been changed, which makes sense. I think it's nice to see when they make changes that make sense, not just change for change's sake. If you look at the body of both of these pedals, this piece here, there is no contact going on with the cleat right there. So what they did, they removed it right there on both sides. The cleat doesn't touch that. If you look at this pedal, my old pedal, you can see where the wear is. Well, I mean, it's kind of like a scuff more than a wear. I like that they use metal here. The cleat contacts here, here, and here. So what they've done on the new 9100 is they put metal where you need it to be. Makes perfect sense to me. I'm going to put them on top of each other and just see the body shape. I'm going to try to get it as close to perfect as possible on top of one another, and then turn it. So let's see. Okay, so this one, they changed the shape. I'm gonna stay right here so you can see what I am seeing. I'm gonna put them on top of each other like that. Let's bring it up. Try to line it up. I'm trying to line up the back. It's kind of hard to do. But you can see by the shape, there's less material on the new one. See that little curve as it comes down right here? They brought the front forward. They cut off some extra material so you have exactly what you need. It's almost like it's kind of cool because there's a slight improvement from the two things that I see right away. I'm looking at the back and I don't see much difference. I'm going to put the new one. The new one is on top. The old one is underneath. They look pretty much exactly the same there. I don't see much of a change, but the front has been changed and inside has been changed. And this metal, it's not as shiny as this one, which I kind of like. Has a graphite looking look, but it's hard. This is basically steel. So you're not going to wear this down. That plastic cleat will not wear these down. I like that. That's really smart because if you look at the old one, I hope the camera can show. Let me turn it this way. Can show the wear. You can see how clean right here is. Let's see if I can get my feet right there and right there. Nothing was touching them. So they were not necessary. Shimano realized that, and that's what they've done over here. You have the contact points where you need them and nothing extra. And then in the front, they hollowed out right here. See that? Those two hollows? So of course that's saving a little bit of weight, you know, fairly insignificant, but you can look at this. This was solid. They hollowed out that area because there's no contact there. And as far as the entry in the front, they look about the same. But they just cleaned up the body a little bit. It kind of brought the sides. You can see that there's less material. I'm doing my best to line them up. But there's less material on the side here. So they cleaned it up just a little bit. So from a visual standpoint, I like the fact that they made some subtle improvements. That's the whole point. If it's going to be the same, keep the model number the same and just re-release the same thing. What they also did from a technical standpoint, I don't know if they put anything in here, but I read up about it. The bearing has been improved tremendously in the new one. I think they went to a single bearing or something. They don't put anything in here. Let's see what's in this. This stuff is mostly just, you know, telling you to inspect it and showing you how to engage your cleats. It's for people who I guess have never used them. And they're talking about the Allen key that you need. That's the first thing I do before I put these on my bike. I use my Allen key and I go all the way, release it all the way and go 3 clicks. I don't like my pedal tension high. So they talk about that in the document that comes with it, but they don't give you the technical specs. Let's see. This stuff is geared towards people who are either very new with clipless pedals, and I think Shimano is just really covering themselves here. It's more like the lawyers told them what to put in here, which is fine. I mean, you know, if you've never used it before, they're talking about how you're supposed to inspect it before you ride them, make sure they're fastening and all that, and I think that's good. They show you how to engage the cleat, getting the front in. I made a video about that. That's good for people who are not familiar. Then they show you the front and the back of the cleat. I guess it's not obvious. So anyway, they give you the parts like the binding section and the fastening section. Nothing For those of you who have used them before, this is something that this is what you do with it. Nothing technical. I did read that the bearing is tremendously improved. It's a single bearing and it has a longer life than the current pedals. So yeah, I think that's a plus. If you're gonna do that, you might as well. So I like the fact that out of the box, I can see the improvements here. It's just smart, you know, and they lighten it up with those little hollow points on the sides that I show you. So I'm gonna be excited about how they're gonna feel. I'm putting it on the Colnago because that's the bike I do most of my training on. To summarize, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this down with a 2.5 Allen key. I'm gonna loosen it all the way, go 3 clicks back, because that's the way I like it. And then I'm gonna put light grease on the threads. You always wanna grease the threads because metal into metal. Whether you have carbon cranks or not, they got metal treads in there. And make sure when you clean your treads, you can take one of your Allen keys, put a rag around it, go inside the crank and clean the tread before you put your new pedals in there. So there's no grit or anything getting in there. So that's all I wanted to do. The Shimano PDR 9100. Excellent looking pedal, very, very light. It's a lot lighter than the old one. I haven't weighed them, but it's not that significant. But I can feel it. It's very slight. We're talking grams here, okay? So I weighed them and the new one comes in at a whopping 121 grams. The old one is 128 grams. So the difference is a whopping 7 grams. Now, when I put them in my hand, I can feel it. It's so slight. So it's insignificant. It's not just the improvement in the weight. It's something about the feel of the 3 contact points. They improve the metal that's there. It feels and it looks more durable. It's more kind of a grayish looking metal versus this one that was more of a polished silver looking. And then of course I showed you the dropped off unnecessary spots. On the back, as far as, if you look at the back, this is kind of a grayish looking color. I mean, it just changed the color. This one was silver. It still has the 2 little plastic clips, but this one seems a little sturdier. You know, it's not that different. It's just the style is different. And then behind it, what they did is, you see how in there is hollowed out in here? There's a little bit of an, almost like a slight angular shape there. It's hollowed out. That's where they have those little black clips that holds the back of. So that's where they save the weight. On this one, this was a solid piece in there. And on that one, they hollowed it out. So that's the slight difference. Then the area that got damaged on mine, what I do like about it is, this is tougher. So the one I'm replacing, and I'm glad that I got the newer model, because this area that got chewed out from the mud has been strengthened. It's not the same material. I don't know what they use, almost like it's a hard plastic versus the painted one that they did here. This is a lot softer. I can just tell by feeling it. So they obviously have gotten some feedback that this thing was not holding up, because I had one replaced on a warranty where the rear clips that I showed you in the hollowed out portion, one of them just got loose. It was just weak. And so my engagement was gone. And I sent it, the pedal was perfect. That little clip was not, there was no tension on whatever spring they have in there. And so they just sent me a new pair. So, but what they've done is they've hardened this entire painted portion here. Because it's on the back and it's inside, the one that got worn. All of that material is a harder plastic that I think will resist the wear that I had on this. So I'm very pleased. So as my other pedals get long in the tooth and need to be replaced, I will definitely be getting this one. There is no reason for me to stick with the 9000. They've done some nice improvements. I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope it helps you. If you ride Shimano pedals and you want to make a decision, this is the dura-ace model, and I'm sure some of these changes will trickle down to Ultegra and 105 if they haven't already. Shimano's really good about that. But I stayed with the same model, and the pedal has become so much lighter than even this one. I mean, the 7 grams may not seem like much, but it just seemed like they got rid of things you did not need on there. I mean, they just made a lot of subtle changes that I'm looking at just in the design and everything. So yes, they're definitely worth the upgrade if you need a pedal and you already ride dura-ace, or if you have Ultegra and you want to consider using that. You know, I'm sure that they will probably make the changes in the new Ultegra model. So I'm going to stop there, and I hope this review helps some of you make some decisions on getting your pedals set up. So no matter what, get your K's in.